Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new edition of the Triple Trio, our weekly look at all things Hong Kong racing, a little international as well, with the best form analysts in the business in Clint Hutchison and the Hall of Fame jockey in Raymond Shane Dye. Hutch, there's a lot to reflect on.
There is. It's been a great week. National Day was a success, as it always is. Plenty of race goers there. Turnover was up as well, so it's trending in the right direction. Good to see that. And a lot of talking points from that meeting and a lot to look forward to this weekend.
Hello Shane, how are you, my friend?
I'm well, thank you. It was a great day's racing. Tuesday was like a weekend meeting. It was very big. Turnover was good, as Clint said. So, no, I had a good couple of days.
No joy for Hong Kong in Japan. There in the Sprinters Stakes, but Pierre Ong is flexing his muscles, isn't he, to go to the top of the training premiership. Let's look back on the week that was.
This is a bad race. There's not many chances in this race. This should be winning. Super Legends.
As they come down towards the post, he's racked and stacked them here big time. Alfie Chan with Super Legends.
There's not much depth in that race. That's the key. He's been consistent. He needs to get a win on the board, but I think if he runs up to his first up performance where there was a good gap back before, he'll be tough to beat.
Herald Win, Awesome Treasure, Blazing Wind out wider. Herald Win, Herald Win and Blazing Wind.
At the last trial, he settled him very well and just pick him up, and he definitely has a turn of foot. Despite the right draw, but I'm sure that second manage.
Prestige always in front, Silo not going anywhere, Thriving Brothers, Leslie poking through, Not Usual Star after Prestige always, Prestige always.
Talking of beauty, what about Beauty Waves on Tuesday?
Run against a giant horse last time, and he'll have a good run in 1,000. He looks fitter than the last run, so he'll perform well enough on Tuesday.
Beauty Waves hanging tough here. He's going to salute in the National Day Cup. Beauty Waves from Magic Control.
Yeah, well done, team. And that just adds a few units to what's been a good month for you on HUTCHI'S Honkers.
Well, it can be a tough month, the opening month, because a lot of horses are returning as well. So glad that the best bets has got off and kicked off well, and overall strategy marginally up. But make sure you get on board if you haven't already. I think October, November will be even better.
HutchI'sHonkers.com, as simple as that. We've got a huge show coming up. Our star power guest is Alexis Badel. That's going to be fantastic. Looking forward to all of our usual features. Hutchie will have a look at top raiders, horses to follow into the future. Shane will give some votes for the Idol as well. And we will find some winners on Sunday. And that's where we start. Let's find some winners on Sunday at Sha Tin. Also worth noting, Triple Trio Tour to December to the international meeting sold out, but we're giving the prize later on in the show.
Oh, yes.
That's going to be coming up. Race number 7, who do you like?
Yeah, it's the Community Trophy, the Federation of HK Guangdong, and I think that the one to beat quite clearly will be Fast Network. It's a good race. He's tackling stronger company, but 2 from 2. I've got him marked 260 or thereabouts in my early rated price. Cheval Valiant, he actually beat first up. Then you've got sort of tried and true performers in Flying High, Celestial Colours. They've had a run back. They've got the form around Magic Control. I really like this win from Fast Network. Shane first up. He carried 135 pounds, so top weight. He reeled in Cheval Valiant, who went out and then won. Of course, there's a bit of a swing in the weights, 5.5 kilos from this meeting, but I think Fast Network just has that little bit of, upside.
Yeah, 12 pounds. So it's quite a bit, but you've got to remember, here's Flying High. He always goes well up the straight. He ran well up there last time also, and he's never far away, and he's going to get a good run in behind from gate 10. Yep. But Fast Network, he looks a nice horse. I know he's meeting the other horse 12 pounds worse, but what you got to remember is Cheval
Valiant.
What's it called? Valiant, yeah. I think he's had 10 runs in Class 3 and he's placed 4 times. So he's never actually won in Class 3, but he's only got the 8 pounds, hasn't he, Clint?
Yeah, he's got next to nothing on his back. And, you know, Brittany Wong, she's drawn inside. She's going to have to do a little bit of work to come across, but he's a one-trick pony. Jumps, he runs. It's whether or not he can establish that break mid-race. And as we saw there with Zach, with top weight, he chased a pretty good tempo. He's got 5 kilos less to carry. I think that's more important. So, you know, we talk about relative weights a lot. And it's significant, it always is, but less so, I think, in this sort of instance. I mean, if you're going on pure weights and measures, you go, well, Cheval Valiant should be winning, but I think in this case, he drops in weight, he'll be more competitive, and he's an improving horse. So, yeah, my selections, I've got Cheval Valiant, in second over Fast Network. I thought it'd be pretty tough to beat.
We move to race number 9, so we go from 1,000 metres to 1,200 metres. We're in a Class 3. Who do you like? Yeah, I like Devano. I like him a horse. I don't think I'd take any or too much shorter than my early rated price. So I may tighten him a little bit, but I've got him at $3.50. Hong Kong Hold trialled amazingly well for me. Once again, Brittany Wong on a potential leader. I think Mighty Stride also jumped out pretty well, and it's got a little gear change. And Lady's Choice, another one that's trialled pretty nicely, rather nicely. So, look, this is what we saw from Devano last year, Shane. He was a very consistent horse and kept going on with the job.
Well, he only had the 4 runs and won 2 and had 2 placings, so he was very consistent. He's had a couple of trials in this time over 1,200, and both trials are all right. This is not a strong race. Here's Lady's Choice. Now, he had a problem back in June and had knee surgery, but the trial was good. The time was slow. He's very consistent and never goes bad, and I think those two stand out here. I've got Devano from Lady's Choice on top.
Yeah, that horse that finished second in the white colours in that trial, Winning Gold, won the last race on Tuesday, so there's a little bit of form out of there. That was the only query I had with Lady's Choice, just the one trial leading in, and that was a little bit of a query for me. I think Hong Kong Hall went extremely well. Get on the Hong Kong Jockey Club website, have a look at it. Drawn gate 12. Shane mentioned about leaders and wide gates. This might be one that they do come for, and he just scooted along. Now, he does like the all-weather track, but he can run all right on the grass as well, and I think with Brittany's Claim, he looks very interesting indeed, so he's going to be a nice horse. Devano also went well in his trial. He'll sit back, he'll try and round them up, so don't know if there's too many. I know Shane's sort of Devano Lady's Choice. I agree they're both in the mix, but I think you've got to have Hong Kong Hall and the toppy in there somewhere.
Okay, then we get to race number 10. So we finish the meeting on the all-weather here, and we go out to the 1650. Who do you like?
Gee, this is the hardest race of the day, Shane. I thought this was very tough indeed. But my numbers are Chilby, Adderfield, Capital Delight, and Red Hair King. I think you could probably have another 4 and still potentially miss the winner. But Chilby does come through a key form reference. This was a trial from Adderfield. Incidentally, just note. I'm pretty sure that's Hong Kong Hall winning this trial as well. This is that in the previous race. So Adderfield we know on the dirt. He'll run his usual race. But Shane, what did you make of the last? I thought it was particularly difficult. I'll talk about Chilby.
I think it's very, very open. Here's the race the other day where Chilby wasn't suited because it was an on-pace track and all night you had to be up there. And he got back and he kept coming. He was favourite for the race. He hasn't raced on the dirt, Clint, but he's going to run a race. The thing about this race is there's a lot of pace in the race, and I would think they're going to go along with horses like Telecom Fighters with the girl on, All for St. Paul's. They both go. I'm just looking at it now. So there's a few in there. I've actually got, you won't believe this, the 13 on top, Turum Mascot. His run on the dirt was very good. He's 4 pounds out of the ratings, so I'm going against that. But he's had a few trials this season, and they've been all good, and he's going to get back. He's got 115, and I think it's a very, very open race. So I had him on top from Orderful, the 5, and Chilby. I'm looking for horses that are going to get back and get home. Yeah,
and it's not a complete disadvantage what we've seen on the dirt. In the day meetings, I think you can run on. I think the way the track plays. And with Chilby, like Shane just mentioned, track pattern against, they went very hard in that race, but it was difficult to make up ground. Now, if you're worried about the dirt track with Chilby, I'd be taking a chance that he handles it. Yeah. Some of his trials over the shorter distances have been absolutely incredible. He's by rote, he's got a New Zealand pedigree. There's not a massive lead there with other runners in Hong Kong in terms of how they've gone on it, but I'd be backing him in to do it. But like I said, it's a pretty tough race. You're going to want north of $5 or $6, I think, to back anything in it. It's that kind of race.
And the thing you haven't mentioned also, Clint, is he's got a jockey change. HUTCHI'S goes on.
Yeah,
I know he rode him, I think, his first start when he won, but the kid's been riding him ever since. So that's a big thing, a jockey change like that.
And Zach Burton riding at 118 there, so he's obviously in really good shape.
It's a really interesting lead, actually, isn't it? For Zach usually doesn't get down for those weights unless they can win. There may be a slight exception for two reasons here. Pierre Rung's leading stable, we want to keep him happy, that's one thing. Secondly, as well, this is a horse that, Shane, I reckon they might be going towards a Vase, a Hong Kong international Vase, and maybe they want to get the runs on the board now and get him fit. That's not to say he can't win. He won on the Polytrack in the UK over a mile. So they might be thinking there's some hope here.
HKIR generation.
I would be saying it's the second thing, that he's looking for the future in the Group 1 races, staying races, because we know that Hong Kong horses are pretty weak. They're not that strong once they get to 2,400 metres. And a horse like this, if he goes to the next notch this season, he's in those races, Clint.
Yeah, let's not forget he ran third in the Derby as well. Nearly pinched it with
That's
Andrea
right.
Azzanio. He's a very interesting horse this season.
Yeah, 118 for those in Australia. That's about 53.5 kilos, so that's light enough
getting down for Zach.
For Zach, who, of course, leads the premiership. 15 wins over Huey Bowman, who has 10 wins. Interesting early part of the program. Zach's only got a couple of rides. The first half of the program, Huey, of course, has plenty of rides throughout. So that's a quick look, a snapshot of 3 races, our best bets at the end of the program. Now let's join our Star Power guest, Alexis Badel.
It's Computer Patch. He processes past the 400, leads a length on Beauty Applause. Amazing Star, Skyfielder's next, and Wellington, there's no Denon Smash. Leader is Computer Patch. Skyfield's come through the centre. Wellington is wider out. It's Computer Patch, Wellington and Skyfield. Computer Patch still in front, but it's Wellington. He's loomed up. The chairman's sprint prize. It's heading to Wellington.
Alexis Badel, that brings back wonderful memories on the mighty Wellington. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're in good form and in good shape at the moment.
Yeah, thank you. Everything is going okay. I think I've got good horses. I've got plenty of support at the moment. So, always good to be able to ride light horses in a good race. So, yeah, that's okay.
How about this season, Lexi? It's very competitive once again. I mean, the big names are up there once again, but is it typical for Hong Kong this season? You're getting the support that you feel is pretty much where it was in line with last year, or is it getting tougher?
Yeah, I think it's very competitive. You can see that Zach is dominating at the moment. Hugh is doing very well, and everything is pretty open. Everyone's very competitive. There's plenty of good riders. Maybe not as many horses as we could have. I'm not quite sure. I don't have the numbers, but I imagine that after COVID, you can see that not all the races are completely full. Some of the field are empty, and many jockeys are not fully booked. So it makes everything more difficult, I would say.
You mentioned a couple of Australians there, and you add in Breton Avdulla and also Ben Thompson. Your Aussie accent must be getting pretty good, Alexi.
No, their French accent is improving.
Very nice. Beauty Waves, this is a really progressive horse. Let's talk about him.
Yeah, he's a very good horse. He's got a big action. I must say, coming back to a shorter trip, 1,000 meters, I was never going to be worried. I knew he's got plenty of speed. And since last year, he actually missed a start accidentally, and I won the race from behind. And since then, he just keeps improving, I think he's got a bright future.
It's funny how some things like that can be unlocked, Lexi, because early on he looked like sort of a jump and run, and he was often very empty late. But, by missing the start at the end of last season where you beat Call Me Glorious, you found something out. He was terrific against HKIR Rising first up. In that previous race, when you clashed with HKIR Rising, obviously he carried a lot more weight, but did you feel that there was still a fair bit of improvement to come out of that run?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, last year was a big surprise in the way he won the class too. It looked like he's got a good turn of foot. And this season against Kind Rising, he was still hitting the line very strong. I think Kind Rising is a very special horse. He's probably one of the best at the moment in the sprint. I mean, the young rising stars. And Beauty Wave, I think eventually he'll be able to compete in the higher level.
That said, of course, Kind Rising trained by David Hayes. But just a quick word on Pierre Rung, Alexis. He gives you a good bit of support with some of his nice horses. He's a young trainer. He's really doing an exceptional job.
That's very impressive. He's a good trainer to ride for. I think he's got a bright future. He'll be a champion trainer for sure.
Horse that you had great association with last year was Happy Together. Recently had a trial, and he's a horse that just kept taking, each step last season. How's he going at the moment?
He's a very good horse. I think he'll find his way through the big races, mid-distance and staying tight. He's very talented. He's got a great turn of foot, which is, I believe, how you see the good horses, and I think he's going well.
Would he be aimed towards a Hong Kong Cup, that type of race, the 2,000 metre? Would that be the sort of race that they'll aim towards?
I would assume so. I think he's proven to be competitive in the Group 1 level, and his handicap is so high. I mean, he's ready to face the good horses in Hong Kong.
Shane, take Alexis through his rides on Sunday at Sha Tin.
What do you got?
Golden Fairy
first race. Well, he'll probably get a soft lead in that, looking at this. It was very disappointing last start, Alexis. His first up run was all right.
Yeah, I agree. He's a bit of an inconsistent horse. He's either very competitive or he just runs flat in the straight. He likes to dominate, and last time I couldn't lead. I couldn't get him on the fence. He seems to be a better horse on the fence. So it doesn't matter if you go a bit quicker. I think he likes to be on the rail.
We both thought, Alexis, that the last race was very competitive, but Shane's giving Turin Mascot a good chance.
I've got him on top. I think he'll run well, even though he's 4 pounds out of the ratings. It's a very hard race. He'll probably get back a bit, but his trials have been very good this time, haven't they?
Yeah, I completely agree. And I went through all the potential horses for the Class 2 for this particular race. And when I found out the rating was 75, I was really keen to ride Turin Mascot. And I think I agree with Shane. Is a good chance. And the trial was really good. And it's a strong race. But if the pace is good enough, he'll finish strong.
Alexis, as a proud Frenchman, describe Arc Weekend to us for those who haven't been privileged enough to be there.
Oh, well, it's very unique, very special. It's a big weekend. It's not a secret like the Arc de Triomphe. It's probably one of the most prestigious race in the world. And also for those who never been to Longchamp, Longchamp is a very special race course. It's huge. The track is very wide. It's very difficult. 2,400 meters is very demanding. It goes uphill the whole back straight. So it's a very difficult race, and the race course is very special.
And it's been wet in recent years. Was it wet the 1991 when your father Alain ran second in the mighty race?
Correct. He was on the inside riding Magic Night. I was only a baby, but I remember my parents talking about this race. I watched the replay as well a bit later on, but yeah, she was a good filly, and I think she ran second in the Japan Cup as well. This the same year.
Yeah, and Alexis, I think the weather's been, I suppose, pretty typical. They're looking at a wet track again this year.
Yeah. I think a lot of rain is expected for Sunday. I'm not sure if it's going to happen before on the day or not, but it makes everything more difficult, and you need that. You need a horse with a softer track ability. You need a swimmer.
Yeah, and it's weekends like this that you miss home? You're a long way away.
Yeah, but now I'm not looking back. My life is in Hong Kong. I'm a Hong Kongese. I like the Hong Kong food. I'm happy to be where I am. And of course, I miss those big race meetings.
On another note, Alexa, we might need... You ride pretty light as well. We're looking for some lightweight riders down here.
Well, they know where to find me.
Very good.
Alexis, one thing, have you got a tip in the race? What do you think will win it?
Okay, so I think you need a horse that likes the softer ground. I think, in my opinion, I like Marquise de Sévigné.
There we go.
I think André Fabre believes she stayed the distance. She's a Group 1 winner over a mile and maybe 2,000. But anyway, she's got the turn of foot. She's gonna be back. She's gonna be relaxed at the back. She likes the soft ground. I think she's gonna run a good race.
Yeah.
Who rides her?
The young kid, Alexis Pouchin. He's a young jockey, but he knows very very well, and he's had a great success this season in France. I think he's good enough. I don't worry. And André Fabre's got such a good experience in the big race. He knows what to tell him.
Alexis, good luck on the weekend, and you keep eating nice and light. We'll find your ride down in the Caulfield or Melbourne Cup. We're going to need a rider like you.
All right. I'll be there. I'll answer the call.
Okay, Alexis Badel, our very special guest, with a reflection not only on Sunday at Chartin, but a little look towards the Arc on Sunday in France. Our global racing, we concentrate on the great race, which is the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe at Longchamp in France. And once again, a full field, a rain-affected track. We've just got a strong push for horse number 8 from Alexis Badel. Look de Vega will be the favourite, just ahead of Sosi. Now, both Group 1 winners on rain-affected ground. So there's Sosi there for André Fabre, horse number 13. Let's have a quick look at the lead-up race, a traditional lead-up race. This is a Group 2 race. It's a small field. So on this occasion, Sosi wins. Now, Sosi had been a Grand Prix de Paris winner, defeating Illinois from the Coolmore team on a soft track, defeating Look de Vega, who runs third here, who won on heavy ground when it won the Grand Prix de Jockey Club. So rain-affected ground is going to be really interesting, and this is where a horse like Los Angeles will come right into calculations here. Los Angeles won a Group 1 in France at St. Cloud on very soft ground, and I think that Aidan O'Brien would have targeted this race. He won an Irish Derby, he was third in an Epsom Derby, so Los Angeles is the key runner from a Coolmore point of view. If you're looking for a couple of horses to concentrate on, Joseph O'Brien might be able to spoil Dad's party with a horse called Al Rifa. He won a Group 1 in Germany by 5 lengths last start. He ran second to City of Troy in the Coral Eclipse and got within a length of him. Now purchased by Japanese owners, I think he can run really well. And from an Australian point of view, there'll be a horse who'll be 50 to 1 who's an absolute mudlark.
That helps.
It's a mudder, was a mudder. Its name is Savannah's Night. André Fabre trains as well. It'll be a massive price, absolute mudder. So have something on Al Rifa and keep your eye on the Aussie horse as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Throw that into the exotics and maybe what Alexis tipped there, the 8. I'm not going to even try and pronounce number 8. Just number 8.
It comes as horse number 8. Hey, Southport Tycoon's easy to pronounce. What a run on Friday night in the Manikato.
Yeah, this was brilliant. And huge congratulations to Matty Ennis. And he's, of course, one of the founders of Group 1 Goldmine. And this, backs his company, backs the judgment, what they do through all the analytics, purchase shares in this horse. They've already won a Group 1 with Southport Tycoon when they won the Guineas. And, of course, now it's sort of open age there, weight for age level. A huge win, run. Congratulations from all of us here. They're good supporters of us. We're great supporters of them because their product's fantastic. So the Group 1 Goldmine, if you're buying a yearling, if you're breeding, if you want to know if a horse stays, it's certainly well worth it. And just once again, huge congratulations.
Victor, the winner, ran well, loomed up to win, got tired. There he is sitting in third position. A tearaway leader changed the complexity of the race, made it a really genuine race, and Mugen just couldn't get into it. He finished 13th.
Apparently didn't like the track. But what it highlighted to me, and the Japanese always are sort of 3 to 4 lengths, usually, apart from Lord Canelo, off the best Hong Kong sprinters. But Shane, it just highlighted to me, it's not easy to travel and win, even though it's not a huge trip, and if you've got to be sort of set for the race. And these guys were, but just shows how tough it can be.
It's never easy, and they were first up after a bit of a break too. Mugen was disappointing, but he'll come back and be a success in Hong Kong again. It's only a matter of time.
Our social stable, Gerard Mosse, a friend of ours on the program. Gerard has been part of a very cool promo for At the Races. You like this?
Alors nous voici. La plus belle course d'Europe. La compétition élite. Le cadre parisien. La pression énorme. Oui, on peut s'y préparer. Étudier l'épreuve. Mais à Longchamp, il faut avoir de l'instinct. Focus. Bravoure. Activez votre finesse. Préparez-vous à l'impact. Quand l'opportunité se présente, saisissez-la.
Exceptionnel! Trev has won the arc again! Saganix qui ajuste les gars! Alexis denied enable! Incroyable Frankie Dettori!
Et quand vous y arrivez, le moment est éternel. C'est le prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Le moment de devenir immortel.
Magnifique, Gerard.
That was so good. That's one of the best I've ever seen. That's what racing's about. That was sensational. You don't get better than that.
Oh, it's just brilliant. The Cox Plate, well, they've got involved, and J-Mac was front and centre.
To be the best, you have to beat the best. To face the world's elite, to stare them in the eye, and to give it everything. And for over 100 years, the best have assembled on this hallowed turf in a battle for glory. Where history is made, where champions become legends. Where the roar of the valley is felt all across our nation. Witness the next legendary chapter. The Ladbrokes Cox Plate, Australia's best race.
Beautifully done, and the wonderful speaking part of James McDonald there, where he just stared superbly.
Richo, please. That's a distant second to the other ad.
I'll tell you what, it's a distant third, because the number one all time is this bad boy.
1, 2, 3!
Have a look at... Who is that just singing along beautifully?
There's a few there. Chris Muntz, Larry Cassidy, I see, myself. There's a few of us who did that. Neil Payne, there's a lot. No, I've got to say, it's not much good, that one.
Hey, I heard they turned your mic off.
But in all seriousness, that one Gerard did was amazing and sensational. I hadn't seen it before, and watching it, it gets you involved and intrigued, and you want to be there.
It does, doesn't it? Really makes the hairs stand up on the back of the neck, and to a certain extent, so does sort of Shane's 1980s one there, or whatever it was, for different reasons, Shane. But no, it's a big weekend, and promotion in sport is a big thing.
Yeah.
looks like it's come a long way.
That's exactly right. Shane, you reminded me of Lionel Richie there with We Are the World. That's what you were standing there with you.
Did you like the hair?
Yeah.
The long hair? Sorry, you wouldn't understand the long hair, would you, Richie?
Let's go to a break. HUTCHI'S form files. Let's start with your top-rated performance for the week.
Yeah, we had one on Saturday and, of course, one on Tuesday, which was the National Day Cup Day, and the couple of nice performances. Pray For Me chased a really hot speed. This was a good performance. So we saw, of course, Frank Tank almost sort of half take off, probably a young apprentice trying to follow instructions and set up a really strong speed. Now, Voyage Samurai will be making my Sid file because he chased it and boxed on really well. But Pray For Me, I thought, he went okay. It sort of rated about where it should. Fortunate Son's probably one to keep an eye on for later, but that was the best from Saturday. We've seen a replay of Beauty Waves. He's really, once again performed particularly well. He dropped back in trip. He rated a little down on his performance, and I had actually, of course, the run-up Magic Control rating a touch better,
right,
but with less weight, about just under a length. But good to see Beauty Waves put his hand up again, Shane, and he's a horse that, PL continue to sort of enter in races like that and hope to get it, be competitive, I suppose, in the Hong Kong Sprint in December.
Yeah, nice horse, but what about HKIR Rising last start? How he beat him with the weight difference. It just means he was so much more impressive. And what's he going to do at level weights?
Yeah, he's going to be the one, isn't he? He's the one who's emerging, especially considering a lot of the sprinters, two of our gun Hong Kong sprinters are over in Japan, how they travel back, settle back in.
They got time on their side, but HKIR Rising with top weight to win like he did, and the rating that we put up on this show, he's seed number 1.
Who is in the sweet in defeat file?
As I mentioned, Voyage Samurai was fantastic. I thought chasing that really hot speed, he doesn't need to control it himself, but it just left him vulnerable. He was a sitting shot late. I thought Triumphant Warrior was very good, held up badly. Probably should have won that race. That race rated very high. The Class 4, that event they went better than Packing Power later in the day over the same track and trip, which was a Class 3. And then, of course, there was this horse who I very nearly made a play, but I thought it was a tricky gate, and it ended up as I thought it might. And A View of the World was a play for us. We got him at $9. You don't see Zach on too many first starters at $9 and win. But Yunlong Elite, he got into a tricky spot in this race, Shane. You can see they wanted him to be forward. He got shuffled back. You can see he didn't really get out too late. Zach's off and gone with the prize, but Yunlong Elite was outstanding in that final 150 metres. He closed well. He can settle on speed. This was his second up run, and third up he'll go really well.
Oh, it was a big run, and he runs the distance. We know that now because he hadn't really been tested at it, but he went really well, and he can race on pace, Clint. So he's going to be very hard to beat his next start. He should have won that.
Yeah, he should have won that. We were a bit lucky there to get away with it, but that's the way it goes. And he went out at a reasonable price, but he's certainly a horse to follow. He's only lightly raced as well.
Okay, so put them into your black book, the sweet in defeat file there for HUTCHI. Time for racing's highest individual honour, the Mighty Idol. And Shane, you lead us away when we look at the Idol. Who caught your eye from a gun ride point of view?
I think they've been riding pretty well, and there was a lot of good rides. They've given a lot of points. But I love this ride. This is just so good of Yui last week. Now, this is a $1.60 chance. Now, not many jockeys would do this because they haven't got the confidence to do it. And when you're on a $1.60 chance, it's not easy, but he just goes back. Now, this horse here has been racing a lot closer, Clint, and has not finished his races off. He goes up to win, and he cannot hit the line. This is what happens when you go 5 to 6 lengths further back. They save their energy, and they can hit the line. Now, at no stage did Yui panic. And you've got to remember, it's a $1.60. He wasn't looking to leave the fence. He stayed there. He come one off, straightening up. And he never panicked, and he just was so fluent to the line. And it was just a classical Yui Bowman ride. And watch him here, just not even panicking.
Yeah, it was a great ride. And just, sometimes when horses draw wide like that, it's a blessing for some connections as well, particularly with a guy like Bowman in the saddle, Shane, because they may discuss it before. You know what? Today's the day. We've had to use a barrier before to have him in a spot. Let's ride him a bit more patiently and see how he goes.
And that's what happens. He hit the line and he finished the race off for the first time. So I thought that was an outstanding ride.
There were stages of that race, actually, Richo, when I thought... You remember when Winks ran at Flemington?
Yeah.
And was all held...
In the
Turnbull, which, of course, is on this weekend, this year's edition. And yet there were stages of the race where you thought, they're going to get away from him.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to win. Of course she did.
Yeah.
But it was a bit like that because you're still hoping that those gaps open up and all of a sudden they don't get too far away. But that was a fantastic ride from you.
Absolutely brilliant. Who else caught your eye, Shane?
Well, I've said the last 2 or 3 weeks that Matthew Poon's riding well and he's putting his horses in good spots. And I want to show you here about following the right horse. Up and top here is Casalinka, Casa Legend. Now, he's following Charmander, which is the odds-on or even money favourite. And this is what happens when you follow the favourite. You get the right run in the race. And he had 2 winners on one on Tuesday and one on last Saturday. You just follow it, come out at the top of the straight like he has here, and he gets over top of the favourite. And this is what I keep saying to the boys. If you can follow the favourite, always follow the favourite. You just get a better chance to win the race.
Yeah, and you also hear jockeys, Shane, say that they want to follow certain riders.
Yeah.
Like and there's certain riders that they don't want to follow. I might ask you in a moment or two when you finish which riders you didn't want to follow, but run us through this one. Great Spirit.
Now, here's the next one. Here he is on Great Spirit. The favourite, which didn't end up, was the horse Thompson was on. I forget what it's called, but it opened up odds on and got out. And it was the only horse in the race to beat. Look where Matthew is. He's followed him, come out, and he stayed behind him until about the 250. And now he said to his horse, or 300, let's go. And they're the 2 favourites in the race, and he's getting the last crack at him. So why is Matthew riding winners all of a sudden? He's starting to get better rides now, but he's actually putting his horses in good spots and he's given them good rides through the race. And he started really, really well.
Yeah, he sits 3rd in the premiership with 7 wins at the moment, Matthew Poon, behind 2 superstars in Zach Burton and Huey Bowman. So there have been some beauties there. Any negatives, Fancy Pants, or just all positive?
This isn't negative, but this is 2 horses that should have won for sure.
Right.
And one of them was a horse I tipped last week, Always Welcome. Now, we've got Brittany here, and she's just going too fast and letting them run now too much. There's no way she should have led here. She should have been 3rd fence with the run of the race. She's on the fence. Now, if Always Welcome gets to a fence here and he should have come across, it wins for sure. I'd say 98% it has to win the way the race was. But she just keeps going and lets it run. Her horse, if you do that, is always going to stop and run last, and she's got to be aware of it. She's just got to be. There was no need to do that, and it wasn't the second jockey's fault on what happened, and he should have won for sure, that horse. Now, here's the other race. Voyage Samurai should have won for sure. No risk, it should have won. It would have got a soft lead, and he's so good he could have kicked. Now, Brittany here should have just sat 3rd, and she could have tucked in here with a beautiful run, but she just stays and lets it run too much, and Fake Voyage Samurai goes head-to-head, which is just silly, and they go too fast, and it actually costs Village Samurai the race. So you just got to be careful when she's in a race like this now, because the pace is going to be up, and it's not beneficial for the horses that are up there. And you can see here.
I think that's a really good point, but it's also a point, Shane, that if you see her in the race and probably on a leader, I mean, we all would have had Frank Tank up there. The previous race she showed, not sure necessarily whether it was many would have had it mapped to lead. That's a fair call, but she's still learning her craft. So, and she's going to get it wrong times-wise and make some of these incorrect decisions. So, I mean, as analysts and people that wager on it, you probably got to half expect that they might be going to go a bit quick.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a race on the weekend with Hong Kong Hall. Like I said, she'll probably jump and just let it run. Some of those are going to win anyway. They're going to skip away. They're going to let her go. Think she's going too quick. So she's still learning her craft, and obviously, there's a lot of development yet to come with her.
I'm not actually criticising her that much, because you know what you're going to get. I'm just making it more aware to the boys and the punters and whatever, that now you've got to take this into consideration. And I actually didn't take it into consideration with Always Welcome, which should have been $4. It was $21, you know.
It's a good debate, isn't it? And I think it's a good point because, you know, we always want to, I think a lot of people that wager on sports, you know, you always look back and say, oh, this person should have done that or that. Actually, you got to look at yourself and go, you know what? That was a chance of happening.
Yeah, why didn't you read that?
I should have read that play. Yeah. And when I was in Hong Kong, that was far more the attitude as well, Shane. It's like, I probably should have known that was going to happen and I've got to adjust.
Well, Shane's put Brittany Wong right on the radar there, saying, listen, if she's in a race with a go-forward horse, there's a fair chance that she'll let it roll, and therefore the tempo of that race is going to be up.
Absolutely.
The other thing, Richo, is for punters that type of horse or horses she's riding, don't back each way. You back them to win. If you like them, just back them to win, not each way. Forget the each way. It's a waste of time. Because if you go through her stats at the end of the season, what will happen is she's either going to win these races like she did last week, a couple, by letting them run, or they're going to stop and run nowhere. That's the way I look at it now, you know?
Yep.
So they're good win bets, but not each way bets because they're going to go too fast and stop and run nowhere, or they're going to keep going and win.
Bang or bust, I like it. Who got the votes this week?
Oh, there's quite a few because I thought they all rode pretty well. Well, Huey he only rode at one meeting, but his two winners, I think, Matthew's riding real well. Yeah, Matthew's riding very well. He got 2. Zach, he had bad gaits but still got in, and he rode 4 winners over the 2 meetings. But last Tuesday, his gaits weren't good, but he gets in. And to point out Zach's had 15 winners this season.
Yep.
Last year, he had 10 at the same stage. So he's riding at a rate of 50% better. So he's going way over 150 this year in my books, whereas last year I think he was 120-something. And these other boys all gave their horses a good ride and they won. So I like DeMelo because he didn't panic on winning gold.
Confident ride, wasn't it? Confident ride.
Confident.
Yeah.
Even at the 400, he didn't come out at the 600 and start to improve. He waited. He was first up. And even at the 400, he hung on to him and he just let him come up the last 200. And it was a good ride. He knew what he had under him, and a lot of jockeys would have panicked sooner than what he did.
Well, we're 4 weeks into the season, so here is the Idol leaderboard chasing that magnificent trophy. So Zach Burton, 15 winners and 13 seconds. Huey Bowman, 10 winners and 4 seconds. So Zach's been right around the money, and we've got a tie at the top.
Yeah, Hughes, they're both going really well.
Those top 3, Clint, are riding very well, all of them.
Yeah, I actually think most of the boys are riding pretty well. I haven't seen too many that you'd be knocking at this point. So long may it continue.
Well, also, Golden, it's worth noting that we've had 4 weeks and you have not given a negative vote in 4 weeks. You're either A, getting soft, or B, they're all riding really well.
I think what happened last year, I had a phone call from someone and they said, mate, why don't you do the show at the end of the season? And I said, oh, well, it's over the end of the season. And they said, Jesus, these boys are riding bad, a lot of them. I think they're actually a bit scared when the show's on.
Oh, beauty, mate. Keep up the good work. And as always, he is very, very honest. A very quick break. We'll come back and announce the winner of the Triple Trio competition.
Parents Lovers keen to roll, and he's gone clear by 4 lengths up the hill.
Well, let's jump and run. A couple of news items to talk about, and that is lightweight jockeys in Hong Kong getting an opportunity in Australia in the Caulfield Cup and maybe even into the Melbourne Cup. We spoke about Karis Teeton riding Coco's Son, and now Ben Thompson's got a ride.
Yeah, fantastic for Ben, and he's had a couple of good opportunities. I did note, unfortunately, got a minor suspension during the week, but this is a great pickup for him, isn't it? And he's got aboard a very interesting runner who ran 5th, of course, in the Derby.
Yeah, that's
English
right.
Derby.
So his name is Sayadi Sadadi. Now, the horse that interestingly runs really well in this race, running 3rd, is the horse we spoke about before leading in to the Arc, and that is Los Angeles there. So you're going to get a little form reference there with Los Angeles, and there is Sayadi Sadadi, who only has 50 kilos in a Caulfield Cup, if you don't mind. So Ben Thompson, it's down in the order of entry. They've got to get a way to get him into the race, but really interesting.
Yeah, no, he'll do well, and you know, Ben, he's riding well, I think, with the opportunities when he gets them. So the best of luck to him.
And there's more lightweight rides available. So Hong Kong jocks, if you're watching the show, which of course you should be, start dieting and start contacting various people.
Well, there's going to be a lot of opportunities.
That's right. The free entry is now available for the 4 Hong Kong international races. And this would be a shout out to all the Australian trainers out there. You know, let's get some Australian representation.
Look, get some representation. You know, we've had horses, not that many go up, and you know, they really should be targeting it. I know it can be a little tricky in terms of the preparation, but you know, I think it's well within their grasp to win these. You know, we've got the best sprinters around, sprinter milers. Go towards some of those races, particularly, wouldn't be frightened as well in the lead-up. You can run 3 or 4 weeks out in the trials, lucrative money, and then you've also got the benefit of a run.
So I think Antino's going to run in the mile, which is smart by Tony Golan, also smart by Queensland Racing. I think that's awesome.
Well, you've had a little bit of influence there.
Without a fight, running in the Vars as well. So the Caulfield and Melbourne Cup winner running in the Vars. That is outstanding. Sprinters out there. Get up to Hong Kong.
Absolutely. It's not an easy place to go and win, but you'll be very competitive. I know Santa Ana Lane won a few years back and wasn't disgraced, but I think if you put it in your radar, Shane, and you got to kind of target your horse. You can't be going there as an afterthought, but there must be some out there that, you know, have had a little hiccup along the way and you go, you know what, this is another viable option for us.
Well, that's the best race for Australia because our sprinters in Australia are so good. They're world class. We all know that. And they're always competitive if they travel well. So there's got to be something out there that's not far away from being the best that should go.
Yeah. Hey, Shane, just this weekend we say goodbye to Singapore racing. We've seen Macau end as well. You rode in Singapore. What can both Hong Kong and Australia and other jurisdictions learn by the closure of jurisdictions like Singapore?
Well, politically, I don't know what went on there, but there must have been miscommunication for a long time or not enough communication. But I do know this. Look, I rode at Bukit Timah and it was amazing, which Bukit Timah was right in the middle of Singapore. And the atmosphere and the crowd and the people, it was incredible. It was one of the best race meetings you could go to anywhere in the world. And then, of course, they moved way out to about, 40 minutes out of town where there was land, but nothing else. And it was dead there. I won a Singapore derby there, but there was no atmosphere. It was dead. And I even felt going to Singapore like this isn't what it used to be. Now, you know, in Sydney, they're trying to get rid of Rose Hill and go out country. No one will go. There'll be no one at the races if they do that and go out there, and it will die. There's no risk about that.
It can end up a big discussion, a lot of this stuff, but, you know, just like, you know, some of the tote system places with tote systems, it has to be said that they are thriving. I mean, you've got the money back into the sport, Japan, Hong Kong. But you know what? I'm not going to open a can of worms. We'll leave it at that.
We haven't got an hour and a half special attachment to be able to chat about that. Drum roll, because we have an announcement, and that is the Triple Trio Tour to Hong Kong giveaway. One very, very lucky viewer has been plucked out, and the winner is D.B. Chandanraj, affectionately known as Raj, is the very, very lucky winner of the HUTCHI'S and Triple Trios Tour to the International Race Week.
Well done, Raj.
Well done, Raj.
Awesome work.
It's valued at approximately $8,000. Well, congratulations, Raj. Looking forward to spending some time with you. Well done, mate.
Thanks, guys. Look, I love both of you, to be honest, a lot, especially Hutchie and Richo. I follow Get On, and I'm a big fan of the show. And when Jason called me last night, I said, you got to be kidding me. And I was like, I didn't believe that. And I had to say, like, you serious? And I just couldn't talk to him properly because of that excitement and the happiness. I had tears in my eyes.
Oh, that's good to hear. Hey, Raj, have you been to Hong Kong before?
No, mate, I've never been to a race course in Australia either. I'm a big fan of racing, but I haven't been to a race course before. And going to Hong Kong and watching races in Hong Kong, it's just once in a lifetime opportunity, and I can't just wait for it, to be honest.
That is
you can only go backwards once you've been to Happy Valley on a Wednesday night because there's nothing like it. I can't believe that's your first race meeting, a Happy Valley on a Wednesday night. You're going to be in shock if you go to a bush meeting in Australia after that.
Hutchie, I wanted to meet you personally, you guys, for so long. I was so close to buying the VIP membership just to attend that, that thing that you organized in Melbourne for the VIP members.
Yep.
Just to meet you, mate. You are so nice and wonderful person. I'm so happy. It's not even funny. I mean, I can't just I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's great.
That's beautiful. So hey, Raj, trust me, he's not as good in person.
No, man, I've seen his dance moves and stuff like that he looks more fun.
Better believe it, Raj. We'll be busting the night away in Hong Kong up there, and hopefully we'll back plenty of winners as well.
Mate, beautiful. From Shepparton to Sha Tin.
There we go.
Via Happy Valley, there's a lot of things going on. You're going to have the week of your life, mate. And thank you so much for watching our show. Congratulations and bring it on, mate. It's going to be a beauty.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for it. I love you guys.
What a star. There we go.
How good about that? And I love the fact he hasn't been to a racetrack yet either. What a first track to go to.
Hey, Shane, I won't lie to you, though. I'm a little disappointed that his favourite's Hutchie.
Hey, how did you pick that up?
Look, he's obviously a very good judge as well. Let's just put that out there.
I'm a little flat, but... We'll see if we can just...
Richo, at least we won't have to take him for lobster mango. Restaurant.
We'll be having our own private lobster mango. You and Raj can...
I wasn't invited last time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's get stuck into the best bets. Let's get stuck into our best bets. But first, thank you to Raj and also thank you to Australian Racing Tours.
Yes.
Johnny McGurran and his team have been absolutely superb supporting the Triple Trio Tour, and they'll be looking after Raj big time, and he'll spend a lot of time with Hutch Buster. And Hutch will be tipping him a lot of winners, like you will on Sunday. What do you like?
Well, I think we can hopefully get a winner with Fast Network. Really progressive sprinter, like him, think he's going the right way. Now, the Cornella options in the race, I think Flying High. He's a pretty talented horse down the straight. We have to have Cheval Valiant, who'll probably be making the running. So I like those plays. Davano, progressive horse, good record from a handful of starts. Like I said, you're going to want to get probably north of $3 with him, but he should be pretty tough to beat. For the rest of the set, come and join HUTCHI'S because there'll be a lot of other plays on the day. It's not a bad meeting to play either.
Oh, I like it. Especially when you're a little confident, it's time to double down. Raymond Shane Dye has been an absolute revelation early on in the program.
He's just flying.
Races 1 to 4, he dominates. What do you think this week?
Richo, it's the hat. Not me, mate. I just keep picking them out and get lucky. Lucky's more important than anything else in life, and you'll realise that one day, Richo. Metro Warrior in race 4, this should be winning. He's limited, I know that, but he's down in the ratings. He's got 7 pounds off his back with the kid. There's not a lot of gate speed in the race, so he's going to get up there on his own. Looking at this, it's a bad race. He should be winning tomorrow. Yeah. He's had 2 fourths this time in, and both have been okay, but he goes well up the straight. He gets his chance. That's his race if he's going to win one.
Yeah, I agree, Shane. He looks really hard to beat, particularly against some moderate opposition. There really wasn't much opposition there.
Yeah, so race 4, number 1, Golden Boy, as always, a pleasure.
Lovely to do the show. See you again next week, boys, and good luck to everyone on the weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a beauty, Hutch. Good luck, and HUTCHI'S the place to go.
And make sure that I get the invite for the lobster this time, please.
We'll see what we can do. Shane sets the invite list, and at the moment there's only been one on it. Hope you enjoyed the show. See you next week.